Hi, I'm Davis Pike with Front Up section of the Down East TV, and I'm the guest host today, bringing together some citizens from Lubec. And our guest now is Shann Wheelock. And Shann is well known as the furthest east potter in the United States, and she specializes both in potting and weaving. And she is both taken her expertise to teach at the Lubec school system and to start some arts movements that are very important to the Down East area and giving us a cultural fabric that we can be proud of and that will make our community stronger for the future. Shann, tell us what brought you to Lubec and how long have you been here?
My husband and I arrived here about 10 years ago, and it started with a visit to his grandfather on the Cape Cod, who showed us a picture of a house and gave us a key and said it's a great place for an artist and a writer. So 3 weeks later, Chris and I loaded up a U-Haul and arrived here from Knoxville, Tennessee. Been here ever since.
Okay, and that is part of an article that's just been written on Shann in the American Craft magazine September issue. So if you want more information on Shann, buy that magazine. Okay. So I'm now honored, of course, to have a published personality here. Maybe you can tell me about Lubec Arts Alive, which has gotten a lot of publicity in the last few years. It seems to me that program, if anyone walks in downtown Lubec, they've seen the fish mobile opposite Lubec Hardware in front of the McCurdy's Smokehouse. And then they've seen this map or chart on the side of the Historical Society building and opposite the town cemetery. And then in the summer you have these programs on the beach where children make sand art, and there have been a lot of nice pictures of that. It doesn't last beyond high tide, I think. And then have you been involved also in art from driftwood and plastics? There's right now a show going on in downtown Lubec at the Mulholland Market.
Right. Ruta Jordan's, through Tours of Lubec and Cobscook, has been promoting the area with natural materials, found materials from the beach and trash.
Trash art.
Yeah. So
and
that's part of the arts growing in Lubec as well.
Yeah, and that's now on exhibit down on Water Street of Lubec. But let me then open back up to Lubec Arts Alive. Can you tell me in your own words what's happened now that Lubec is coming alive?
Well, Lubec Arts Alive is sort of a grassroots community arts movement. It began with a conversation with Natasha Mayers, who has been coined Maine's community artist. She lives in Central Maine, and she had emailed me back in 2009 in the winter that she and a bunch of artists from the Union of Maine Visual Artists were looking to take a town and art it up. And they were looking at Skowhegan and Waterville. And I sort of did a little bit of begging and got that group sort of excited about possibly coming to Lubec to art up our town. So in 2009, 13 artists took residence in our town and helped to create a mural for the Historical Society. And we had a portrait project where about 30 community members had their portraits drawn or painted, which are now dispersed throughout the community. A documentary film was made about the event, filmed by Wing Lum, who lives in Lubec. And we took several doorways and created installations downtown to sort of brighten up the downtown. And that was the beginning stage of Lubec Arts Alive, with a small committee of 6 members and a lot of volunteers through the community and sponsorship through businesses and individuals to make it happen. And each year we have continued with an event. Getting bigger and bigger.
I think you, well, up to, were there 75 sponsors, or how many sponsors did you have?
At least, and at least that many people working to create the artwork or volunteering. And we have support from Bar Harbor Bank and Trust. We have support from the Down East Land Coastal Conservancy. Just all sorts of people coming together to make it happen.
Okay, well, that's quite a story. So what do you see as the future for Lubec as an art center?
I think it's just going to continue to grow. We know that for a small town that sort of, it lost its factories about the time that we were arriving here, sort of felt like it was sort of like a ghost town of sorts. And this renaissance is starting to happen where the artists are coming together to help, I believe, the economy in Lubec. It's a great relationship that could be forged with the town and with the artists to create a place that is not only a beautiful tourist destination, but a place where the artists are celebrating the history and the people and the natural environment through the arts, whether you're a landscape painter or a musician. And we'll see, Summer Keys is just a wonderful component of the arts. We're seeing poetry readings, artists moving in from other places, and people who are coming to our town to enjoy the arts and the arts projects. So.
Yes, and in terms of Summer Keys, the piano and other music school, I'm told that maybe up to a third of all real estate transactions now in Lubec are people that came in to study music. And so it definitely has a big economic impact. Have the selectmen ever talked to you, or how about getting some political and art people talking to each other?
Well, that would be fabulous.
Okay, well, perhaps someone will be watching this and
Right.
it might start a conversation.
Right.
And I have seen Wing Lum's film, which I think is terrific. Is that available at the library?
It's not available at the moment. We're working on that. I think
Okay.
it probably will be available. So we do have, that would be.
Okay, now you're teaching at the school. What age groups are you working with now?
I work with pre-K through grade 8.
And what are you teaching them? What media? How does it work?
We cover all media,
Okay.
from painting to drawing, charcoal, pencil, watercolor, acrylic, tempera, clay, sculpture. We do everything. We study a lot of different artists.
They're lucky kids. And what's come out of the school in terms of your graduates that have gone on to other schools? Have they excelled in art?
Some of our high school students that I've worked with over the last few years have gone on to study art in college. I have 2 students, my 2 most recent, because we don't have the high school anymore, but students that just graduated this year, 2 of them are studying art. So
In college?
Very excited about that.
Very good. So you've
Very
had an
talented.
effect on some. It's always nice to see that someone has responded to your teaching. Now you mentioned Lubec doesn't have a high school, which I know was voted on by the population and took a great toll on people's emotions and friendships perhaps, and went on for a few years, this issue. So now that the school has gone on, are you at peace with the world?
I'm always at peace with myself. With the world, I'm not so sure.
But do you feel that, in retrospect, Lubec should have kept its high school?
I feel personally that a community should keep its high school, and everyone in that community should pull together to make it the best school that it can be. I still feel that way.
But many people say that Washington Academy is an excellent school. Do you feel that they are still getting an excellent education, those that go to Washington Academy?
I'm sure Washington Academy is an excellent education, yeah.
Okay, well, I want to thank you for all that you've done for the community. And I know you have that little pottery that people can visit in North Lubec, right? Is that going to be open this winter?
Open up through Christmas time.
Up through Christmas. Well, you're very talented, and you've given a lot of energy to Lubec, and I appreciate all you've done, and I'm glad that people now have a chance to know more about you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.